everybody know this is not intentional. It's just frustration, and I need to be a little bit more careful about that, because the bottom line is that our people are already bruised enough. They've already been through so much. And we have to recognize that about each other. We have to be a little bit more understanding about with one another. We have to be a little bit more patient with one another. You see, there's been so much damage that's happened to us over the thousands of years. I feel like crying when I'm talking about this. We're not talking about just a few hundred years. We're not talking about a few hundred years of going through just some bad stuff. You're talking about being destroyed. You're talking about your culture being destroyed. You're talking about your language being destroyed. You talk about your traditions being destroyed. You're talking about your history being destroyed. You're talking about your children being destroyed. You're talking about your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, all the way down. You're talking about living on the earth and not fulfilling your destiny. Hallelujah, Koti, Kwa, Cain. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about some serious stuff, And it's too bad that our people want to continue to be religious. It's too bad that they don't want to sit down and learn and read and understand and consider and contemplate and think and reconsider and re-examine and look at things for what they really are. We've been living in a world that we haven't even benefited not one iota from our Creator. We are the chosen people of the Most High Yah, and we're the least of the people on the face of the earth who have benefited from anything. We're messed up. We're damaged because we decided that we wanted to serve another God. A God that doesn't even exist. We sold ourselves out for that which don't even talk, speak, hear, listen, eat, smell, have no senses, has done nothing for us. And our people have sold, as Yah said in the prophets, my people have exchanged their glory for something that's nothing. And because we exchanged our glory, which is him, for nothings, we've become nothings. We've learned over this last week that Yah says that you're nothing but grass. And your glory is like a wildflower. It's here and it's gone as soon as the breath of Yahweh comes upon it. He talks about how people are making idols. The whole Torah portion is so full of things that it just amazes me. If I was to give a slideshow of everything that was in that Torah portion, we would be here for at least 8 to 10 hours. I can't do it. There's so much to say in so little time. But I want to let you know today that I appreciate your time. I want to let you know that I appreciate your support, your aman. I appreciate that you're confirming the words of the living Elohim, because a lot of people are not interested in learning nothing. They don't want to learn the language. Okay. They don't want to. They don't want to learn a couple of different characters, 22 characters, but they can learn everything else they want to learn in this life, but they can't sit down and learn the actual letters that the Creator had spoken to his people. Okay. Not those actual letters, but the essence of the letter. Strong, house, tent, family, dwelling, walking, water, tent peg, wall, door. They don't want to learn anything that has to do with the senses. They don't want to learn nothing about their heritage. They don't want to know nothing about their fathers. They don't want to know nothing about the promises. They don't want to know Nothing about the contracts. They just want to walk this earth and just do what they want to do. That's what we're faced with. But those of us who are online and that are watching live on YouTube and have taken the time to want to know, Yah is watching and he knows who we are. And a lot of times, you know, Christianity said you didn't have to prove nothing. All you need to do is believe. As long as you believe, you're fine. Yah is not asking for you and I to believe nothing. That word belief is arbitrary. It's just open to interpretation. Depends on how you feel that day or what you think this is. Everybody got their own way of doing things. Not here. Not in Israel. Not in this divine destiny for this people. Not for us. We're going to be a people of learning. We're going to be a people of commitment. Of people who ask questions, a people of knowledge, a people of fairness and justice, and doing that which is right, even when somebody else is not looking and they're not there. We don't scheme, we don't plot, and we don't plan anything that's going to do harm to anybody. Being part of this family of Yah requires things. It's that absolute total commitment. It's about study. It's about learning. It's about considering and contemplating and making calculations. It's about measurements. It's about making sure that things are level and straight and balanced. It's about scales. It's about testifying to what your eyes have seen and what your ears have heard, and making sure that you don't put your hand on something that don't belong to you, and you don't walk in places that are not yours. You don't take nothing from nobody that doesn't belong to you. It's so cold for us. You got to be careful what you put in your mouth because of our Elohim. Not only you got to be careful what you put in your mouth, you got to be careful what comes out of your mouth. That's how special you are. If you're a Bugatti or a Ferrari, you don't just let anybody drive it. You don't just take it over to any dealership. It's special. It's precious. You don't let anybody work on it. They got to know what they're doing. You don't let anybody just drive it. You don't just park it anywhere. You don't store it. You know what I mean? We got to open up our minds. And we got to open up our understanding, because Yah has said a lot in these chapters that we read, chapter 4, chapter 5, chapter 6, and that little part of 7. I want to get right into it because we got a lot of information to cover. I want you to have your pen and paper handy, because it's about learning for us. That's what we do. And at this moment, it saddens me that, like I said, our people don't really get it. That we have to be about Yah. That's what we have to be about. This presentation that I'm presenting to you today is just some things that I thought it would be nice to go over. There's things in here that I wanted to say that I wasn't able to do a slide for, you know, things that came in my mind. There's things that I'm going to say that are not part of the presentation. I won't say anything to you that I don't have evidence and proof to verify the words of the living Elohim. There's going to be things in here that I'm going to have some things to say about, you know. I'm going to present a presentation to you today. And I'm going to show you some things that I disagree with the information I'm going to give to you, but it's okay. Okay. In our presentation today, one of the most important things that Yahweh is trying to get us to understand, okay, And it came to me this morning. I've been asking y'all all during the week, what do you want me to talk about? And I put together this presentation. But what he told me in my ruah, in my spirit, not his, in mine, is in my mind, one of the words that kept popping out in my head, it's not on this board, it's called shakak, okay? Let me see if I can write it here. If this, you know, my tools work sometimes and sometimes they don't. While I'm trying to see if this thing is going to work, I'm just going to tell you it's called shakak. Okay, I'm going to write it out for us. S, I'm doing my finger, sha, and then kak. Okay, shakak, just an English transliteration. What this word means is to forget in English. Okay, it means to have something go out of your mind. Not, you know, it used to be there, but you're just not there anymore. Okay. So Yah has mentioned this word to us several times in our Torah portion through our prophet Moshe. He tells us to be careful not to forget. I want you to be very careful. Lo shakak. Do not get it out of your mind about the things that I'm saying to you today. That word shakak is very close to this word called shakah. So one is very soft, which is shakah, and the other one is shakak. Shakak is to forget, but shakah means to bow. It means to bow down to Yah, okay? And it's S-H-A-C-H-A-H. So you see how close that is? One is shakak, and the other one is shakah. Very close. The only difference is one has that hard K sound on the end, shakak, and the other one is the ah sound, very soft. So the top one right here is to forget, and the second one is to bow. When Yah talks about us don't forget, what he's saying is don't forget who you are supposed to be the one bowing to. The one that you're supposed to reverence, the one that you're supposed to give your life to, the one that you got to understand that your whole existence is based upon you worshiping me, the King of the universe. I'm glorious and I'm majestic and I am a king. That's who I am. I'm the creator of the heavens and the earth. I'm the one who's made the seas that are nothing but a handful of water in the palm of my hand. If I had a palm, it means absolutely nothing to me. I'm the one who's counted all the stars and call them all by name and send them on their courses on a regular. I'm the one who sends the sun up and makes it go to the other side of the planet through its seasons. I'm the one who created that big ball of fire. I'm the one who's in charge of the galaxies that you know nothing about. Your earth is nothing but a tent that can be put down anytime that I feel like it. I could decide today that I'm tired of what you guys have done and destroy the whole entire planet. But the only reason why I haven't done that is simply because I made a promise and I gave my word to you and to your ancestors that I would be your Elohim and that I would give their descendants the land that I promised them. But for some reason or another, my people have a hard time remembering what I said. And therefore, because of that, I have to repeat it over and over and over again. I repeat it over and over and over again. I tell you every year that, or every day, I want you to teach it to your children. Every day, when you rise up out of your bed, I want you talking about it with your children. When you're walking down the road, I want you talking to your children. When you go down and sit down for dinner, I want you talking to your children. When you lay down before you go to bed, I want you talking to your children. I want you to tie this on your head as a frontlet, as a reminder to you. I want you to tie it upon your hands. Any kind of work you do, you need to be thinking about what I said. I need you to take it and put my words on the mezuzah, on the doorpost of your homes and on your gates as a reminder to let you know that my words are true and that they're going to last forever. You will pass away, but my words will last forever. That's what the King of Glory has said to us. There's a word here called lamad. Lamad. Right here. This is named after the letter lamed. Okay. And the lamed is the shepherd's staff. You know, you say, well, I've already know that. I've been through this class before. I know what the Hebrew is. Good. Because we're going to keep learning what it is. It's going to always be something. That shepherd's staff has to do with the authority. That's what it is. It's for guidance. It's for protection. It's to push us in the direction we need to go. Okay. So that's the first letter of this word. Okay. What I find within this word, lamad, is a word called amad, right here, A-M-A-D. Okay. And that means to stand, S-T-A-N-D. Okay. All right. So the word lamad itself means, as complete word, means to learn. That's what the word lamad means. It means to learn. But within the word of learning, there's a word called to stand. Okay. You and I, if we intend on being Yahweh's people, we're going to have to learn how to stand. We're going to have to learn how to stand for that which is right. We're going to have to take a stand on some things. We're going to have to take a stand for Yah. The only way that one can stand is being upright. Okay. Yah says, I deliver you out from the land of Mizraim, because when you were there, your back was bowed and you couldn't stand upright. My intention for the people of Israel is for them to always be in the cycles. And I need you to hear what I'm saying today. I need you to be in the cycles of learning. I need you to be in a cycle of lamad. The moment that you stop learning is the moment that you stop teaching. And the moment you stop teaching that's the moment that you no longer get to live. We were warned all through chapter 4 and 5 and 6 and in little part of 7 that says if you stop teaching your children, you're going to die. He told us in the book of Davarim, chapter number 6, he says, you know, it's going to come a time when your son is going to ask you, why are we doing these things? Why are we doing these things? Why are we keeping these things? Where's the meaning of all these laws and these instructions? And then you are supposed to respond, well, we were slaves to Pharaoh in Egypt. And Yah, with his great work and power, he's delivered us with signs and wonders out of the house before our very eyes. He brought us out of there to bring us to the land that he swore to our ancestors that he would give to us. And Yahweh ordered us to observe all these laws and to fear him, Yahweh our Elohim, always for our own good, so that he might keep us alive as we are today. And it will be for righteousness if we're careful to obey all the commandments before Yahweh Elohim, just as he's ordered us to do. So this is a conversation that every generation, in essence, 6 and 24, starts in 6 and 20. I only read part of it. It's a conversation that you and I will always have with every single generation that comes after us. The same story that they said then is the same story that you and I have to tell our children today. So when someone asks you, well, why are you doing the laws, the statutes, and the commandments? Why are you keeping the Shabbat? Why are you doing it? You tell them it's because Yah delivered us and it's for our own good. And as long as we do what he says, then we stay alive. The moment that you and I abandon Yahweh's laws, the statutes, and commandments, that's when we're going to die. So Yah has reintroduced us, and he is introducing us right now to the laws, the statutes, and the commandments, so that you and I can stay alive. You better hear what he's saying. If we abandon this, you and I die. That's how simple it is. So the lamad is very, very important for us. It's about learning, a continual learning, a cycle of learning, which we will find in our Torah portions. One thing that you and I need to learn is that the day that you stood before Yahweh your Elohim at Korev, when Yahweh said to me, gather the people to me, and I will make them hear my very words, so that they will learn to hold me in awe, okay, as long as they live on the earth, so that they will teach their children. This is the reason why you and I exist. As long as you're on the face of the earth, you are to learn how to hold Yah in awe. And that word awe that's being used right there is this word right here called Yahweh. Yahweh. Okay. Yahweh means to fear. Okay. It means to fear. Hold Yah in fear as long as they live on the earth, so that they will teach their children. The reason why he wants them to teach their children is because I got to have this passed on from generation to generation to generation, because the job of the parent is to teach the child. And as long as the children on the earth, they're supposed to teach their children to tell the children that they need to fear me and learn to hold me in awe. The moment that the teaching stops, the fear stops. The beginning of wisdom is to fear Yahweh. You looked in your Torah portion this week, chapter number 6 talks about nothing but fear. Chapter number 5 talked about fear. Fear Yah, learn from Yah. Don't just shake in front of him when you see the fire. You have to, and holding him in fear means that you have to learn. And learn is our word lamad, which is the shepherd's staff. That means that Yah is guiding you, and he's leading you with his authority. You don't make any moves without Yah's permission. You don't do anything without consulting your creator. Well, we don't have the Uthimim and the priest and all that. I can't consult them. Yes, you can. You can consult Yah right now. You can consult him in prayer. You can consult him and ask him to give you an understanding. You can consult him, and Yah is on a constant counseling session. He's constantly counseling us. As I read to you last week, he says, hey, don't be like a horse or a mule. Follow what I'm saying. I'm watching you right now. I'm counseling you all the time, but you got to come to me. Yah's going to counsel us through his words, which is the Torah. That's where Yah is speaking to us, through the Torah. Yah's not talking through us to any other means. He's not talking through no man. He's not talking through no rabbis and no counselors. He's not talking through me. Yah speaks to us through his words, and that's why it's important for us not to listen to nobody except for hearing Yah's very words. I've come to you so you can learn. This is the reason why people don't want to come to Yah. And this is the reason why they're going to be destroyed. Our word that you have heard me say before. Mazeh. Ma-zeh. Ma means what? And then zeh means this. So you just put what this, what this, what is implied. What is this? Okay, or what's this? So let's look at what Yahweh, the deeper meaning of Yahweh means. You need to understand what learning is truly about. Fearing Yah from an ancient biblical Hebrew perspective has to do with a hand, a head, to throw something, and to point in a direction. Okay. The word Yahweh, the first letter is a yod. The next one is a resh. Okay. And then, of course, I think they have right here the aleph. Yahweh. Okay. The yod right here is the hand. That's what it means from an ancient biblical perspective. The next letter is what they call the head, the rosh. R-O-S-H. Okay. The name of the letter is resh. R-E-S-H. This right here is a Y-O-D, or some people call it Y-U-D, okay, which basically means a hand, okay? So what is it is, it's the man, the hand of the man, because the head belongs to a man, okay? and the man has a hand. And what the man does, okay, is he uses the hand to throw things, okay? The same word for Yahweh is the same word for Yah-Ra, which is fear, which we get our word also Torah, which Torah is instructions, okay? To instruct, instructions. And that's where you, meaning directions. I need to point you with my finger of my hand in a direction that you need to go, okay? So this is what it is. That's what fear is. Fear is saying, I'm going to listen to Yah with the shepherd's staff to learn so Yahweh can point me in the right direction and show me what path to take. You understand? So that's fear. When the children of Israel saw that great fire and they heard the sound of the shofar, they become super afraid. And Yah said, they said in English, I wish. He said, I don't wish. He said, who of these individuals right here would give their mind and exist the fear of me in them? That's the question for us. Which one of us would allow Yah to point us in a direction? Because this is the reason why he called them. Gather the people to me so they can hear my words, so that what? They would learn to hold me in awe as long as they live on the face of the earth. Only his words and only being pointed by his direction. So who of us would allow Yah to do that? Okay, we have a choice. Our next word that you and I have known about that I'm going to continue to introduce you to is called aye. And it means where. Where? It's another question. Where? This is a question. What is it? What is this? Here is aye. Where? Let's look at what that means. Let some people in right quick. Praise be to the living Elohim. Where? Come on, internet. Where should this fear go? Where should you and I go? Because fear has to do with one being thrown, okay? Being pointed in a direction. Where you and I need to be thrown at and to bring ourselves, as stated, is to the foot of the one in authority. That's where the fear is supposed to drive you. The fear is supposed to drive you and I to the one who is in authority. The authority, again, is the shepherd's staff, the one who holds the staff in your hand, okay? So our Creator has decided that I'm going to use a man, okay? Listen to this. I'm going to use that you guys chose. And what's the name of that man that's going to lead you, who led you out of Mizraim? What's his name?
Moshe.
His name is Moshe. He's the one who has, and what did Yah put in his hand before he went to go deliver the children of Israel? What did he put in his hand?
Staff.
He put a staff in his hand, okay? That's what he did. He put a staff in his hand. So this is the individual that we chose. So all the words that Moshe are talking to us and telling us is the words of Yahweh, okay? So we need to listen to what Moshe has said, because he's the one who Yah spoke to face, ear to ear, eye to eye, okay? They had a very intimate relationship. And often people want to throw Moshe under the bus and say that he's just another man. No, he wasn't. He was one of the greatest prophets that ever existed, and there has never been another one who had that relationship that he had with the Creator, okay? Which brings us to our next word called shamar. Does anyone remember what shamar means?
Guard.
There you go. Guard. I need you to guard. The word shamar was mentioned over, and I need you to hear me, was over 15 times. And he used it in the English saying, be careful, watch out, be careful. Watch out. Did I miss something? Let me see something. I think I missed something, you guys. Hold on. Maybe I shouldn't tell you that I missed it. Did I? No, I did. Praise Yah. Okay, I did. Shamar is mentioned over 15 times. So it's pretty significant. He wanted us to be careful not to forget. He wanted us to be careful to do everything that Yah has said. Okay. Yeah, I didn't miss anything. In our text, it says, therefore, Shamar, watch out for yourselves. Right? In context, he's talking about when you guys saw that fire, right? And you heard the voice, you didn't see any shape. You didn't see no shape of any kind, no image of nothing on that day that Yahweh spoke to you in Korev from the fire. Okay. So I need you to guard yourself because this is going to be the issue for you guys. As I stated to you earlier, the whole chapter 4 and 5 and 6 and even part of 7 and continuing on has to do with idolatry. Yah begins to tell us in the book of Devarim, chapter number 4, that you guys remember what happened to Baal Peor. And he said, those of you who are still alive today, it's because you clung close to Yahweh. You glued yourself to him. Therefore, you're alive. But the other people, you saw what he did to them. He hung them. He killed them. So he begins to tell us about the laws and the statutes and commandments so you and I can learn how to watch out. And he says, watch out for yourselves. We need to go over so you can find out when he's talking about yourself, what he's talking about, what you really need to be guarding. Okay? Because I don't think we understand it. So what is it? Mazeh, what is this? What is this to mean to guard? It's in a sense of protecting. Okay? Just like anybody who has a responsibility of being a guard or being over, the guards over in the castle, over in there in England, the guard and the queen, you got the guards of banks, you got the guards of, vaults, you got the guards of something that's precious. Okay. But Yah's telling us to guard and protect. Yah has given us certain faculties, okay, and senses to help us guard. Somebody tell me, name some parts of your body that Yah gave to you that you're supposed to use to guard with.
Eyes.
Thank you. We got the eyes. Somebody tell me why the eyes and how do you do that?
Vision, you see.
Yes, you see and you give witness to. The eye in Hebrew is called ayin, A-Y-I-N, okay? That's what it's called, okay? But to be a witness is called an aid, okay? And it's an ayin for the first letter. That's what it looks like, okay? And the next letter is called a dalet. Somebody tell me what a dalet is.
Door.
It's a door. So the ayin is the door of the what?
Eye.
So your eyes have doors. What are your doors to your eyes?
Eyelids.
There you go. Eyelids. So can you open and close your doors?
Yes.
Yes, you can. Okay. Somebody tell me what's the next. So we got eyes because eyes have to do with being a witness. The name for witness is Ad right here. That's the name for witness. Okay. And also too, if you reverse these letters and turn into a dalet and an ayin, that is called knowledge. Okay. I can't spell it all out on that side. Knowledge. Okay. That's what this word means. Knowledge. You just reverse the letters. And it's still the door of the eye or the eye of the door, meaning that you have seen something. Okay. You have seen something, right? With your eyes. So therefore, now you have visual observation. That's knowledge. You have observed something with your eyes. That's what gives you knowledge. And knowledge will give you what? Experience. Okay. So what the children of Israel did is they gained a knowledge and an experience by the things that they saw with their eyes. And this is why Moshe kept telling them, don't forget what you saw with your eyes. The reason why I don't want you to forget what you saw, what did they see?
They saw the wondrous deeds of Yah. Like
Yes,
this.
but more specifically, what did they see on the mountain?
Fire.
The fire, yeah.
Saw fire. So he wants you to remember what? I want you to remember the fire. I don't want you to remember an image because you didn't see an image. What you saw was fire. So what you need to understand, and he says that Yah is a consuming fire, okay? And this is what they were afraid of. And they said, which one of us have ever seen, heard Yah speak out of that and see this great fire? Stop, don't let us hear it no more, otherwise we're going to die, okay? These are clues to tell you that Yah is saying, like Moshe said, who of all the nations, of all the people on the face of the earth, who has ever heard such a thing or have seen such a thing, that Yah has spoken to somebody out of fire and lived? This is what Yah's intention is to come back in fire. And the only people that will be able to live are the ones that Yah has set aside, and the children of Israel for sure will be able to endure that. As he told us in Isaiah chapter 43, that I brought you through water and I will bring you through fire and you won't get burned. That's why I'm telling you not to be afraid. But he wants them to remember these things, okay? And they get through that through visual observation. Somebody tell me something quickly about what else are you using to guard with? So you got your eyes. What else?
Your ears.
You got your ears. Somebody tell me what about your ears? What can you do? What do your ears represent? You got ears now. What do your ears do? You hear.
The things you hear.
You hear with your ears. Okay?
Yes.
So you would give testimony based on what you heard. Okay. So that heard or hear is called Shema. Okay. All right. That's what it's called. Shema. Hebrew is there right here. Shema. Okay. When you hear, and that means to listen. I need you to guard your ears, because if you don't guard your ears, and listen means to obey. Okay. Obey what? What you've heard. And what you've heard was the words of the living Elohim. So I need you to guard what you heard. But you got to guard it with your ears. You understand? That means that whatever I said, you got to guard with your ears. How would you, what would Yah use to tell us, or what is he saying about what should we be guarding against? If we heard what he said, we're supposed to guard his words. What is he saying to us?
Guard against idolatry.
Guard against idolatry, because somebody's going to come to you and try to offer you an image, and they're going to give you a story to go with the image. So the story makes the image become alive. And so they're, in order to have a image, an idol, they need a story to go with it, which is what they will call a narrative. So I don't want you to listen to anybody else, because they're going to come with a different type of narrative. They're going to have a different story, and their story is going to be different. Their story is not going to talk about Mitzrayim. The story that they're going to talk about is not going to talk about the land of the promise. The story that you're hearing is not going to talk about what I promised your fathers. It's not going to talk about my covenant that I made with you. It's going to be talking about something that's completely different. It's a different narrative. It's a different story, because the story that they're going to present to you is going to have an image attached with it. So it'll move you away from it. So if you listen to the words of these other people, you literally are giving up your guardianship over what I told you. You're not protecting what I said. When I came to you so you can guard this. I chose you to guard it. And that's what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to shamar. So we got our ears, we got our eyes, we got our hands, we got our mouth. Our mouth is supposed to be the things that come out of our mouth. Yah tells us never to mention the name of what?
Other gods, idols.
Thank you. Exodus chapter number 23, verse number 13 tells us that Yah says, don't you invoke the name of any other gods and let them come off your lips. Invoking means pray, give adoration to, as if they exist. Now, you've heard me use the name Theos. And so, well, did you use his name? Did you invoke his name? I didn't invoke his name in any kind of way except for to tell you he's a false god. He doesn't exist. Okay. If I tell you Jesus Christos, that's the name that these people are writing, we're not invoking his name for any power. He doesn't exist. That's their part of their narrative. Okay. So he's not talking about you can't say it. He's saying, listen, don't invoke it as if it exists for you, because you got to swear by my name, because I'm the living Elohim. Okay. So we protect it with our mouth. Yah has given us other words to tell us, hey, listen, my hadavarim in Leviticus chapter number 11 and Davarim 14 tells you that you got to guard your mouth from different types of foods. You guard my words through your mouth. You guard my words through what you hear. You guard my words, what I said, through what you look at and what you see. You guard my words by what you put your hand to. Isaiah 56 tells you, don't lift your hand to do any evil on the Shabbat, meaning don't lift your hand to do any work on that day because you're violating what I said. So yourselves is called a nefesh. I'm gonna move a little faster. Your nefesh is yourself, your person, who you are. I need you to guard that. That's what I need you to do. I need you to shamar that. Because if you don't shamar this, including your hands, your body, your breath, but it goes beyond just your body, your hands, your eyes, your ears, and all that. There's something inside that you need to guard. See, you and I were told that, the body is not the spirit or the soul. The body is different. The flesh is different. From a Hebraic perspective, the whole person is the soul. That's what it is. Proof text. When Yaakov left out of the places he went into, how many souls went into Mizraim? How many people?
70.
70. So we got 70 people who went into Mizraim, 70 souls. The souls that went in was a body that was breathing with a mind and its personality, its whole living being, its whole life, all of his desires, all of his passions, its appetites and emotions. The whole entire person is the soul. So the Greeks have turned around and said, oh, this is your body, so this is different. This is your soul, and this is different. This is your spirit, and this is different. That's not true. That's not true. According to what Yah has said, the soul is every part of you. The individual that's talking to you right now that has a body, who's breathing with a mind and passions and desires and appetites and emotions, that's my soul. I am commanded to guard my soul. We never been told that. That is a command. When Moshe told us that Yah has told him to tell us, guard. Shamar nefeshka, guard your soul. It's a huge responsibility. He didn't tell you to guard anybody else's soul. He told you to guard your own soul. Look out for your own body, your breath, who you are. Guard your own desires and your passions and your appetites, and most definitely your emotions. Guard them. Against what? Against idolatry. Because this is how they get you. They get you through your emotions. They get you through your desires. It's easy to commit crimes when you're not following Yah because there's no one to hold you responsible. You just cry and say you're sorry. So they use your own emotions against you. They tell you that you're worthless, and they tell you that you're a sinner, and they tell you can't do any good. That we're all born in sin. You're born a sinner. You have no hope. You're totally depraved. Well, let's look at it. What did Yah say about Noach? What did he say? What kind of man was he? He's called righteous. What did Yah say about Eov, which is called Job? What did he say about him? Righteous. What did he say about our father Abraham?
Righteous.
Righteous.
You better hear what I'm saying to you. So has there been examples of righteousness and people who walked in righteousness? Yeah. Do we have sin? Yes. Are you born in it? Yes. But you don't use your emotions to get you off that you don't have the ability to do that which is right. You do. Noah guarded his soul, so did Eov, and so did Abraham, and so did Yitzchak, and so did Yaakov. And even when David made a mistake, he turned around and said, hey, restore my soul. Bring me back. Make me get my desires in check. You know, I like to look at naked women with her bathing herself. I like to look at her. Get this passion in check. Don't walk away from me. Don't take your ruach from me. Control my appetites, not only for food, but for other desires. That's what you and I need to learn how to guard. The reality of your existence. Okay? In English, they have this word korev. Okay? And I'm speaking horev. In Hebrew, it's called korev. Okay? This is called Mount Sinai. Okay? This is where they received the 10 words, where the fire came down, right? I want to share this word with you because this is where Yahweh spoke to us from Korev, and he spoke, that's where the fire was, right? So you need to understand what Korev represents. What Korev represents is a dry wasteland, a place that has been laid waste and desolate, okay? It also has an extended meaning to mean a sword, from the idea of a weapon used to lay waste to a city. Why? Lama, that's my question. Lama, why Korev? Simply because Yah gave us a berith, which is a covenant. That's what a berith is. He gave us a covenant on Mount Sinai, okay, on Korev. What Yah was really doing is saying this: if you go against what I just told you out of this fire, I'm letting you know that I'm going to desolate you. I'm going to bring you to ruin. That's what I'm going to do. Right? I bring you to places because the name of the places tell you what the character of that place is. I brought it to that place because I'm going to desolate, and I'm going to desolate it with fire. The fire is attached to the covenant. Okay. But also too, the word korev has to do with a sword. And I'm going to execute judgment against you and vengeance of the covenant if you don't obey what I told you. Okay. So you and I are not in a deal with the man. We're in a deal with the creator of the heavens and the earth. And he says in YHWH, which they call Leviticus 26:25, I'm going to bring a korev against you, which will execute the vengeance, the naquam, against you for the berith, the covenant. And what is a covenant? A covenant has its root in this word called bar, a bet and a resh. Okay. The bet is the house. Okay. Tent. And the resh, again, the letter resh, that's the name of it, is called a head. Okay. A what? A head of a man. But here, the understanding is the tent in the house is really a dwelling for the family. That's where the family resides. They reside in the house. They reside in the tent. Okay. So when you put these two words together, or this word bar together, is from the idea, the family heads. Okay. And the family heads has to do with grain. Okay. So during the season of harvest in wheat and barley, the grain has heads. Okay. Stalks. On top of the stalk, there's heads of grain. Okay. So covenant has its root, okay, in the idea of that which is to feed, because that's what you would do with grain. You would use grain to feed. So our covenant is based on that, okay? So when Yah talks about, I'm going to bring you to the land, and I promise your fathers, I promised them to give them the land so you can continue, so I can continue to feed you. With what? With the heads of grain, okay? And here the idea of a covenant too is, because I asked the question, well, what's ma? Ma means what? What is a berith? What is a berith? What is a covenant? A covenant is instituted through a sacrifice of choice, fatted animals, which is cut into two, and the parties of the covenant pass through of the pieces. If one party fails to meet the agreements of the covenant, then the other may do the same to them, meaning cut the person in half, okay? So we got examples of Abraham. We have examples of Yitzchak, and Yaakov and Yitzchak, where they made covenants. The covenant that Yah made with Abraham, which we're going to read in a second, Yah had asked him to go get some animals, and I'm going to cut them in two. And then Yah passed through those pieces. Abraham didn't pass through those pieces. Yah passed by himself, which I'm going to explain to you what that means here in a second. But the point of this covenant that you and I are involved in has to do with that which is choice and fatted of an animal. The animal is choice, meaning it's best, and it's fatted, meaning it's like what made it fat? The grain. It was fed. The grain. It was fed grain, the best grain. That's what it was fed with. And at that time, this was the perfect animal, because Yah says that if you take an animal, it has to be the best animal, right? It has to be the best of the best. And then we're going to cut this animal in half. And then once we cut it in half, the two individuals who made the covenant have to walk between those pieces. And whatever happens, if someone breaks this covenant, let happen to them, which happened to these animals. I want to show you that this did happen, even though Abraham did not walk through those pieces. Okay. In the book of Bereshit 15, which is Genesis. Okay. Then he said to him, I am Yahweh, who brought you out of the land of Ur-Kasdim to give you this land as your possession. He replied, Yahweh Elohim, how am I to know that I will possess it? He answered him, bring me a 3-year-old cow, a 3-year-old female goat, a 3-year-old ram, and a dove, and a young pigeon. And he brought him all these, and he cut the animals in two. And he placed the pieces opposite of each other, and he didn't cut the birds in half. Okay. So the birds are never cut. As you notice in Yah's offerings, birds are never cut. They just wring their heads off, and they don't cut them directly in half, but they do cut them open and split them open, but they don't cut them into two pieces. They just kind of fillet them open. This berith that we're talking about, this covenant, it has to do with the land, the la ha aretz. Berith is covenant. La means for, and then ha means the, and then the aretz is land. So this was the berith that Yah gave to Abraham for the land. I don't have enough time to go into why they're 3 years old today, but next time I'll probably try to figure out, or some time into it, to let you know why they're their ages that they are, and which has to do with how many captivities Israel was going to go into, and how long, what the processes were that they'd have to go through, because Abraham didn't walk through these pieces. Now, the children of Israel did ultimately get cut in half. You said, well, how did that happen? Well, it happened with the northern tribes and the southern tribes. So Yah did execute the judgment, okay, not against Abraham, but against his descendants. When they broke that covenant, Yah split them in two. See, so remember, he said, let happen to these animals what's happen if they don't keep the covenant. So based upon what the children of Israel have done, Yah split them into two different nations. So they were split. That was Yah's way of confirming his covenant with them, that this is what happened. Okay. But this next word is called lo karath. And lo means what? Somebody tell me in Hebrew, what does lo mean? No. And karath means cut. Okay. So no cut. So let's talk about this no cut. Let's see what Yah did cut and who he didn't cut. Okay. Karath is to cut. So low cut. So Yahweh are at power. And this is in Devarim 5 in our Torah portion. Yahweh, our power, made a covenant. He made a berith with us at Korev, at the place of the sword, the place of desolation. Yahweh did not make this covenant with our fathers. So this berith that you and I are under, this agreement that we're under, Yah didn't make it with Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. He made it with us. And he said, with us, all of us who are alive today, who spoke with you face to face from the fire on the mountain. So Yah did speak to humanity face to face, which is Yisrael, face to face from that fire. Okay. So when someone said, have you never seen Elohim face to face? You could say, no, he spoke to us face to face. We haven't seen him face to face. He spoke to us face to face. Okay. So it's not the same. Okay. You have to understand this. Okay. So there's two covenants, one that has to do with the land, the berith that has to do with the land, right? Which has to do with grain and feeding. And now this covenant with ours has to do with words. That's the difference. Ours have to do with words that have to define our character and define our conduct and our manner of life. Okay. And the question I would ask them would be me, like who, or excuse me, I went to Oman, forgive me. The Lama Akar, meaning why? Why? Why another? Because that's what Akar means. Why another covenant? Why has Yah decided to go with us another covenant? That's the question. Why would Yah choose to do something different with us than he did with our fathers? And that's the question we should ask ourselves. And the answer to that is that Yah's intention is for us to always trust and believe and confirm what Moshe said. And he said it in Shemot 19. Yahweh said to Moshe, see, I am coming to you in a thick cloud so that the people will be able to hear when I speak with you and trust, also to trust in you forever. That word trust is not believe. That is to aman, meaning to support or confirm. So they're going to confirm that, okay, Yah's talking to him. Okay. Why is this important for us? Because Yah wants us to be able to confirm the words of Moshe forever. That's what you and I are supposed to do. We're supposed to listen to what Moshe said because he's the one that Yah spoke. You understand? I'm trying to put the pieces together. That's what we're going to confirm. We don't confirm the words of anybody that Yah's never spoken to. He's never spoken to anybody in the New Testament. Okay. He's never spoken to anybody in the Quran. He's never spoken to anybody in any other manuscript. The only people he's ever spoken to is the children of Yisrael through Moshe. Okay. But also, too, we need to understand something. We need to understand that Yah, our Elohim, and what his purpose was. Okay. The purpose is that you and I should enter into this covenant of Yahweh, our power, and into his oath. So we only get the covenant, we also get the oath, which tells us the things that Yah swore, like if you don't do these things, then this is what's going to happen to you. So I'll give you a promise in my words, but also I'm going to put the warnings along with it and what will happen if you don't listen. So what Yahweh, our power, is making with us today, so that he can establish you today for a people, for himself as a people. Okay. You and I are being established. This is the purpose of the covenant. The purpose of the covenant is to be able to build a relationship with our Elohim as his people. So that you, right, he will be a power, as he said to you and as he swore to your ancestors. Now, again, I said he's not in this covenant with Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, but even in the things that he swore to Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, our fathers, he told them that I'm going to be an Elohim for your descendants. That's my purpose, is to be an Elohim to them, to be a power to your people, to your sons and daughters. Therefore, if I'm going to do that, I got to establish them as a people for myself. And if I establish them as people as myself, then I'm keeping the agreement that I made with you. And also I'm going to make an agreement with them. But he tells us that he says, I'm not only making this berith, this covenant with you and this oath only with you. Rather, I'm making it with both with him who is standing here and with us today before Yahweh, our Elohim, our power, and also with him who is not standing here with us today, who is not here with us today. So that doesn't allow you and I to say, well, you know what? I'm not part of that. Yisrael is an enclosed system, as I've been telling you, okay? It doesn't matter if you were standing there. It doesn't matter if you weren't standing there, because Israel exists, okay? That's what it is. We're Yah's special people. We're special to him, which I got this word right here, segula. That means that you and I are a treasure to the king, and he chose us out of all peoples, okay? So this is the purpose of the covenant. This is the purpose of Yah speaking his words to us, is so that he can fulfill his oath that he swore to our ancestors, but also too, so he can establish us for himself. Because you're segula. And how special are you? Why are these words so important? They're important because Yah is going to let you know that, all right, if I haven't established my covenant with the day and the night and fixed the laws for the sky and earth, which are the kukim, then I will also reject the descendants of Yaakov. So your establishment, okay, and our establishment is established just like the kukim, the decrees, because that's what a law is. It's a decree for the day and for the night, and the things for the sky and the earth. So how the earth works and how the sky works is based upon a covenant. Yah has a covenant with the day. He has a covenant with the night. Yah has a covenant with the sun, and Yah has a covenant with the moon, and a covenant with the stars. Yah has a covenant with the earth. Somebody tell me the covenant that Yah has with the earth. What covenant did he make after Noah? What did he make a covenant? What did he say?
Would destroy it with water anymore.
I'll never destroy you again. Not with water. What covenant does he have with the sun and the moon and the stars? If you know. What are they to him? What do they mean to him? They're his witnesses. What are you and I?
You're his witnesses.
You're his witnesses. Are you special?
Very much so. Yes.
You are. If he established a covenant with the day and the night, okay, day is light and night is darkness. Was there light yesterday?
Yes.
Was it light before yesterday, the day before?
Yes.
Was it light 1,000 years ago?
Yes, that was like.
You understand? How about 7,000 years ago? Yeah. See? So your connection, your covenant, you understand, is made by the same entity that made the covenant with the sun, the moon, and stars in this earth. We don't know about all the other covenants that he made with other galaxies. Okay. What we know is what he's made for this earth and for this sky. And there's laws and decrees. What we're supposed to learn from this is that the creator gives decrees to his witnesses. And your responsibility as his witness is to follow his decrees. So he has kukim for the sky and for the earth. He has kukim for the night and for the day. He's established a covenant. He hasn't broken that. And he says, if you can break this, okay, doesn't say break here, but in another text within the same chapter, he says, if you can break this, these covenants that I've made with them, then I will also reject the descendants of Yaakov. And you're one of those descendants. That's who you are. And he says also too, or my servant David, not choosing from his descendants, plurality, not one man. I'm going to choose many sons from David. That's what I'm going to choose. Some of us may actually be from David's family. Descendants, not one man, not Christ, not Christos, none of these people. I'm always going to choosing from the descendants of David. I'm choosing from the descendants of Yaakov, okay? A people, okay? I'm choosing people from their descendants to rule over the descendants of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. For I will cause their captives, which you and I are the descendants who are in captivity, to come back, and I will show them compassion. That's what this covenant's about. Our covenant not only has oaths and, punishment, but our covenant is established in compassion as well. Because Yah did tell us in the book of Devarim, chapter number 4, that he would not what? I'm not going to forget you. I didn't have a slide for it, but it did say that, where did he say it right here? You will serve God's crossing, okay, and everything. What did he say? Oh, he said he's not going to forget us. And he also said that I'm not going to destroy you, but I will remember the covenant I made with you. That's in Devarim 4. Okay. I don't know exact verse, but it's somewhere in the 30 somewhere. Okay. After I bring you back. So we're not in that bad shape. Okay. We're in good shape because Yah has not forgotten about us. Okay. Forgive the error in the slide. Forgot to put a title on it. But you and I are Kadosh. We're a set apart people. That's what you and I are. And Yah has set us apart, and he's chosen us out of all the peoples on the face of the earth. And this is part of your Torah portion. You are a ki am kadosh atah. You are a set apart people. You're very unique to Yah. Very unique. Yah is keeping his promise. See, he set his heart on us, or he didn't set it because he chose us because we numbered any more than any other people. He chose us because we're the fewest. He chose us because he loved us. And because he wanted us to keep, he wants to keep the oath which he swore to our ancestors. That's the reason why he brought us out with a strong hand. And he redeemed us from a life of slavery, from under Pharaoh of Egypt. Again, why? To get rid of that mindset that you and I have had. And so from this, you and I can know that Yah is our power, right? And you have the same power that Yah used to take us out of Mizraim is the same power he intends on taking us out where we are now. But he says he's being faithful for those who are guarding, okay? I changed the word from guard, it's guarding. It's a present tense, meaning like it's a participle is going on right now. In order for us to receive this compassion, in order for us to receive this love and this mercy of Yah, you and I have a responsibility to guard his covenant. And he's extending grace to those who are loving him, present tense, right now. And those who are observing, present tense, who are doing his commandments, his mitzvot, to 1,000 generations. But he's also going to be repaying those who are hating him currently to their face and destroys them, okay? He will not be slow with someone who hates him, but he will repay him to his face. That's a promise. That's a definite promise that's going to happen, okay? I want to end this in particular series right here, talking about him remembering. I want you to know that the covenant that Yah has made with us is literally forever, okay? Dawid tells us something. He tells us to remember the wonders that Yah has done. This is the reason why he's supposed to tell your kids. He wants us to remember the signs. He wants us to remember the spoken mishpatim. He wants the descendants of Yisrael, his servant, the offspring of Yaakov, his chosen ones. You are chosen to remember. His kukim and his mishpatim, more specifically, are everywhere on the earth. And guess what? Yah remembers his covenant forever. So someone comes and tells you that his covenant is done away with and that there's a new covenant, it's not true. His covenant is forever. The word he commanded to 1,000 generations, not 10 generations, 1,000 generations. The covenant he cut, Karath, with Abraham, the oath he swore with Yitzchak, and established a kok, a law, a decree for Yaakov, for Israel, for an everlasting covenant. You and I are involved in an everlasting covenant. It's connected to the sun, the moon, and the stars. That's huge. That's something powerful. We need to remember that. We need to zakar, okay? Oh, what happened? Sorry, you guys went somewhere else. Let me figure it out. Don't go to sleep on me. All right. So this next part that we're going to go into, and this is closing it out. This will be the second half of what we're talking about. I want to talk to you about the Eser Hadavarim. Okay. The word Eser means 10. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
You can't see it? Okay. Let's see. I'm sorry. Okay. Resume share. Tell me when you can see it, because I just lost it. Stop it. Sorry, you guys. Technical difficulties. Breaks the flow of stuff. All right. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
All right, cool. All right, so Eser Hadavarim. What does Eser mean? Take a guess.
10, the 10
Thank you.
words.
10 words. The 10 words. Thank you, Okoti. Is the 10 words. Why is this important? Because these are the very words that Yah has decided that I'm going to give you 10 words, okay? And I'm going to judge you. Listen to me carefully. I'm going to judge you based upon the 10 words that I gave you. This is the foundation of the relationship of the berith. We're going to use Hebrew terms. Okay, they call it the berith is the covenant. So I'm going to tell you about the berith. Think about birth. Sounds like berith, birth. That the covenant that I'm making with you is based upon these 10 words. This is the foundation of the berith. Okay, you and I are commanded to keep the berith. Okay, Yah tells us that, or Moshe tells us that Yah said that he spoke to you out of the fire. You have heard the sound of words, but no shape. You saw no shape. There was only a voice. He proclaimed his covenant to you. That's what he did, which he ordered you to obey. The 10 words. And he wrote them on 2 stone tablets. I put this word purified up here because I want you to understand something. When Yah spoke to Yisrael, he spoke to them out of fire. The purpose of fire is to purify. Yah is letting us know that when I spoke to you in fire, every word that proceeded out of my mouth was purified. Everything that I said was purified. It's not a joke. Every word that comes out of Yah's mouth is purified. Okay? So our covenant is based upon purification because that's the purpose. The purpose of fire is to purify. Okay? That's what Yah wants to do. So the words that he gave us are words of purification. I hope this makes sense. Your covenant that you are involved in purifies you. From what? What does it purify us from?
Sin.
Mistakes, which are sins. It gets you away from transgressions. The transgressions and sins are not the same. It gets you away from rebellion. It purifies you from uncleanness. Okay. All these things. And let's look at it. Okay. So we're going to take some time to talk about this very purified. That's the reason why we were spoken in fire. Yeah, I showed that to me. The words that I spoke are pure. Okay. And they reveal what they would call his kavodo. His kavod means to be glorious and to be majestic. Okay. So kavod means to be glorious. Okay. Glory and majesty. The O right here is his. So this is his majesty. So the King of glory, okay, the Melech HaKavod is talking about his kavodo. His kavodo are the purified words that were made in fire to what? Which is associated with his voice. Okay, so he purified them. So he can talk to us and give us a covenant to cause us to be pure. If you and I are going to live by these ways, you and I are going to be purified. Okay, literally by the fire. Okay, so let's get right into it because it's a lot. All right, so I use this word ancient Hebrew, right? Because I'm gonna reveal a source to you. And I want you guys to understand that I'm going to hand this document to you. I'm going to send it to you. I want you to give it to anybody who wants it. I got it for free. I want to give it to you for free. It doesn't cost you anything. It's a digital format, okay, that you can use. And what it's going to be talking about is it's going to be talking about the biblical Hebrew, okay, the 10 words. This in particular edition right here. If you've been in my class, you got to learn how to read biblical Hebrew volume #1 to teach you how to read, right? From Jeff Benner. But this one here deals with the 10 words. I like the transliterations and not transliterations. I like the translations that he did on the words. I love it. It makes it really clear because you get an ancient biblical perspective on what the commandments are. You need to know the commands. Why am I saying commands? You need to know the 10 words. You need to know the Hadavarim, because this is what your covenant is based upon. So I want to offer this to you as a gift, right? Where you can read this on your own time, match it up to the blue book. If you don't have the blue book, I'll send it to you, okay? I'm going to give you my email address. You ask me and request it, I'll give you the blue and the red. And that should pretty much put you on top of stuff, okay? There are things within it in this volume that I don't agree with, okay? And I'm going to say about some stuff with syntax. He uses the letter V, which there is no letter V. You know, he says YHWH or whatever is really YHWH. So there's some different things like that I don't agree with, but the translations I do agree with. I want to give you a couple of different samples of what this book is like. So when you get it, you'll be a little bit more familiar with it and you know how it works. Okay. So, and then also too, we can kill two birds with one stone by going over some of the real key elements of the 10 words that Yah spoke that you and I got a misunderstanding about. The first word that he said to us is, let me see here. Operate, come on. And I want to, jeez, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm trying to use my finger. I'm trying to, I'll just stay right here. Can you guys, I just want you to see a little bit better. All right, there you go. Oh, there you go. I'm learning. There you go. All right, here you go. So in this volume, what you have here is this word, Exodus chapter number 20, verse number 1. We know the real name is Shemot. This is the first time that Yah spoke to Israel, okay? This in particular book is going to break down the translation of a word for you, okay? It's going to break it down from its transliteration, meaning how it's spelled in English, which like I said, I disagree with this V right here. It's really a W. The translation, I liked what he wrote in his translation. His morphology, I totally agree with it. Only thing I disagree with is his letter V that he uses for the letter Wa right here. It's really a W. It's really a Wa. Ancient Hebrew is Wa. It's not a V. Okay, it's a W, right? So instead of it being Vi, it'll be Y. It'll be W-A-I, something like that, all right? So this book breaks things down for us, okay? I'm gonna read it in Hebrew and I'm gonna explain it to you, okay? It says, why the better Elohim kol hadavarim ha'ele telemor. What does that mean? It means the why dober means that he, this is not going good. It means that he, come on. It means that he spoke these words and he spoke. So when you get this book, I want you to look at this first word. It's right connected right here. They're going to tell you how to say it a little bit right here, right? So you'll get that information. And then it's going to tell you the translation, what that word means. And he spoke. That's absolutely pure. It's good. It's going to break down the morphology, where the word comes from, like davar. It means word, which we've been going over, okay? And it means to speak along with other things. So you're going to get that. You're going to get the grammar. I don't want to spend too much time on this in terms of breaking it down. I just want to let you know how it works. So every word you're going to get within the first sentence is going to break it down and transliterate it, translate it, and give you the morphology. It's going to let you know what the word Elohim means and how did it come to being one. You know, it's going to let you know what the root is. It's going to let you know what the verb is. It's going to let you know all those different things because we're people of learning. Okay. So let me see someone say, Shalom Aki, I would love to copy. Okay, cool. Absolutely. Absolutely. You'll get it for sure. Absolutely. I'm going to put up my email address for you. Okay. Here it is. Let's just deal with the translations. Okay. The translation of this, the first thing he said is, this is the first thing that Yah had said, or Moshe had said. He said, and the powerful one spoke all these words. Okay. That's what Yah has done. Thank you. You're welcome. The second word that is spoken, okay, is Anoki Yahweh Eloheka. Asher Hotzi Tika, the Me'adres and Misraim, the Mebeit de Avadim. What does he just say? I'm going to tell you what he just said. Yah just told us, I'm going to break it down for you. Yah just told us that I am Yahweh. This is the first word that he says. I am Yahweh, your powerful one. I made you go out from the land of Misraim, from the house of slaves. Why is this important? This is important because, and it's not this YHWH here, it's a YHWH. This is important, you guys, is because Yah, the first word that Yah establishes in the covenant is this. I want you to know that I'm the one who brought you out of the land of Mizraim. Because remember, this whole chapter has to do with, chapter number 5 deals with the giving of the Torah, of the Berith. This word right here is the same that's in chapter number 5. Okay. Yah's name is mentioned over 8 times. Okay. In the covenant. So if the covenant is done away with, then that means his name is done away with. The first word that Yah tells us is that I am Yahweh. I'm the self-existing one. I'm your power. I'm the one who caused you to come out from the land of Mizraim, out of the house of bondage, out of the house of slaves. Okay. That's your covenant. And if you don't agree with that, if you don't believe that Yah took you out from the land of Mizraim, then you're going to believe that someone else did, and that's idolatry. Anybody that doesn't accept this first word. So when someone wants to challenge Yah's covenant, okay, the first word, you take them here. Exodus chapter 20, verse number 2, or you can take them to, Devarim chapter number 5, and I believe in verse number 4, okay? I'm Yahweh. I'm the one who brought you out. Okay, so don't forget that. I need you not to forget this. The second word is Lo Yiyeh Telaka Elohim Akarehim the Al Panai. Now, this is where I want you to really understand. Now I'm going to break this down, okay? Because this in particular word of the covenant has to do with another God. And that doesn't have to do with a whole bunch of gods. It has to do with one God. That the God that I've been telling you about, okay? That's come to try to trick you, okay? The word lo means what? So it tells us right here. What does lo mean? Somebody read it out. Lo, right here. What does this mean? What's the translation? Not or no. And not and no means, and because he doesn't give you all the grammar, it means forever, absolutely never, okay? So he's saying that absolutely never should exist. This word yiyeh right here means to exist, okay? But there's something in it that I want you to understand. Oh, I should have done a better job. I really should have done a better job. I try to get it, but it's just, I'm having forgive me guys, I'm having trouble trying to zoom in on this thing. Here you go. All right. Can you guys see this word down here? Can you see that?
Yes.
All right. That word right there is called a root, and it means to exist. Okay. It's a hey, a yod, and a hey, which is right here, a hey, a yod, and a hey. Those of you in my Hebrew class, what is the first letter of this word here? What letter is that?
Why?
That's a yod. Okay. And a yod means, and it means he. Okay. So you can use this tool to kind of break down words. Like if you look at this word up here is yohe, yohe, and then it says its root right here is a yod, hey, a hey, yod, hey, which is missing this yod. That yod right there means he, okay? So this means never, lo means never. Next word is he, right here, he, that's that yod. And then this is will exist. Because anytime in Hebrew you put a letter in front of a root, it means that it's in a future tense, meaning that he will exist. So he's saying in this particular thing, without making it complicated, just right here, it says lo yiyeh laka. This means never is he will exist to you, okay? So it has nothing to do with a whole bunch of gods. It has to do with one individual, okay? Yeah, I didn't say that they shall not exist unto you. He said that he shall not exist to you. Okay. The he that he's talking about right here is the God that you and I have been discussing. This God. when Yahweh wrote this, when he had this written about thousands of years ago, and he wrote in it about us being led into captivity, he wrote in there about us being scattered to the nations. He wrote all these different things. Yah has implanted this here inside of the covenant to warn you and I about what would be coming, okay? He knew that when he sent us here in exile, that you and I will worship other gods of what?
Wood and stone.
You're gonna, okay, so he puts in the covenant not to worship any other God, right? So here he's telling us, don't worship, you shall never, lo, not to exist to you, he. The he here is called the theos, is the other God to you. He's an Elohim, right? And this word akarim, we've been going over it, has the word akar in it. Do you remember what akar means? If you don't remember, that's okay. Akar means another or other, okay? But also too is the same word that's called for akarim. It's the same word for akarim or akarith. Akarith is the last days. Akar means another, and it also means anger, okay? So anytime you hear this word akarith in the last days or akarim or another, Yah's talking about his anger. This is the reason why he's applying akarim, okay? That's why that word akar right there, remember the ket and the resh? The ket is the wall. The resh is the man outside is the one who gets the sun and the heat. So Yah is telling us right here in this covenantal word right here that I don't want this guy to exist to you in the last another. The one that will exist to you is the one in the last days. Because Yah knows that you and I need to come back to the covenant. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. You would never find this out if you didn't know the language. I'm trying to encourage us to learn the language, because if you learn the language, you'll see the things that you can't see in English. Okay. I'm not trying to make it complicated. I'm not trying to confuse you. I'm just trying to tell you within the covenantal words, there are words in here that tells you what Yah is really saying. He's not saying that I just don't want gods to exist to you. I don't want another God. And he knows that when you go to this other place to live, that you're going to have these gods. But he also knows that you and I are going to be in the covenant. He knows that you and I are going to seek the covenant out. We're going to seek it out. The translation is another, which is perfect. Another power for one will not exist for you in my presence. That's part of that covenant. Okay. So you and I can never have another God. Okay. And it's singular, not plural. It's singular. So Yah's warning his people, when you come back and read the covenant, you will know that I'm telling you that you can never have another God. You can never have anybody else. Anyone else who brings another message to you is a different God. Anyone else who's telling you about something that doesn't have to do with Mitzrayim is another God. Anyone who's not telling you about the land that I promised to you, milk and honey, is another God. Anyone who's not telling you about what I promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is another God. But you and I have been learning that it's Theos in the New Testament, okay? And so that's what it is. I'm not going to read all this to you. I'm going to send this book to you and let you know that it talks about the images that you and I should never have, okay? For example, this word right here is you will not make for yourself a sculpture any resemblance, that which is in the skies above or that which is in the land below and which is in the water below the land. He doesn't mention anything about the male and the female that he mentioned in chapter number 4, does he? Well, why didn't he? Because Moshe was expounding upon the Torah and giving us more definitions about why. Somebody tell me why. Somebody tell me why. Absolutely, Mark, you're getting it. Somebody tell me, why does Yah not want us to make an image of anything that resembles a representation of a male or a female?
Because Yah is not a man. He doesn't have a body like a male and a female.
Yes. And what is it about a man and a female that would, okay, so what he's saying is this, you guys. You can't make an image of anything, a sculpture, because a sculpture is an image that you have made with your own hands. It's your manifestation of what you think God is or what you think Elohim is. So Yah's not allowing man to make any decisions about what an Elohim is. If you and I make an image of something, that's from our perspective. Yah is saying that the only identity that I have is the one that I tell you that I am. I'm not going to let you define who I am. And if you make a sculpture of anything or a resemblance of anything in the sky above or in the land below or the water below, you don't have a clue about what you're talking about. I made everything. Okay. And if you misrepresent me, then there's going to be a definite problem. Okay. So how could something that's created turn around and make something to say that this is the creator when it's in a created deal? You can't do that. That's something that Yah has blocked us off from. Yah says that man doesn't even know his own way. In the book of Jeremiah, he says man doesn't even know how to lead himself. He needs to be taught how to be guided. He doesn't even know how to walk. He doesn't even know his own way. You understand? So how could a person who doesn't know his own way, how can a sinner or a transgressor or any of those individuals, how can they be the ones who to determine what I'm like or what someone else is like? You can't. Okay. So that's the reason why. Come on. Don't deny me. Here's the next word. I don't want you to bow yourself down to them, and you will not serve them, because I am YHWH, the powerful one, the zealous one, and I'm visiting the twistiness of the fathers upon the sons and upon the third and fourth generation of those who are hating me. In the English, it says that those who hate me, okay, past tense. This is present tense. Okay, and it talks about the sins and talks about the twistiness. The ones, when it talks about the twistiness of the fathers are the ones who are teaching the sons what they want them to learn. It goes from generation to generation. The gods that you and I in the idol worship, if you notice, everything is about an idol. Okay, if you notice, the first word has said, I'm your Elohim, I'm Yahweh who brought you out. The second one is that you are what? You're not to make any image of anything. Okay. Third, you don't bow down to any of them. Okay. There should be never no other Elohim to exist unto you. Why? Because this has to do with idolatry. The twistiness of the fathers is the ones who've been telling their sons that there's another Elohim, which is against what Yah has told us. That your son is going to ask you, why are we doing this? You're supposed to tell him about Yahweh. Okay. But Yah is going to visit the twistedness, meaning like the turning. So what they've done is they twisted Yahweh's words. And they twisted the reality of his existence and who he is. And Yah is going to visit that upon the third and the fourth generations of those individuals who are hating Yahweh. Underneath this, I inserted here Devarim 7:9. Okay. It says, from this you can know that Yahweh our Elohim is your power. He's indeed your power. He's a faithful El who keeps his covenant and extends grace to those who love him and observe his commandments to 1,000 generations. Grace is only going to be given to those who are keeping Yahweh's commands. But he's going to repay those who hate him to their face. And he's going to destroy them. And he will not be slow to deal with someone who hates him, who's hating him. He will repay him to his face. So what's this about? Yah's telling us in these words, if you go with idolatry, then you're hating me. Okay. Also, then this next word right here, he says, but if you love me and you're loving me and you're guarding what I told you, my directions, and you're showing some respect to me, right? I'm going to show respect to you to 1,000 generations. I'm going to respect you like you respect me. Okay. So either you love me and you're doing what I'm asking you to do and you're following and you're guarding what I said. Remember, guard Shamar, you're guarding your soul, because that's what a lot of times we think, well, I'm guarding what he said. But the only way that you and I can ever guard what he said is by guarding ourselves. Remember, he's only interested in confirming the covenant that he's made with our fathers. You understand? So if you and I are not doing what he's asked us to do and not guarding ourselves, we're not guarding our mouth, you're not guarding your ears, you're not guarding your eyes. But you say, well, I'm guarding the Shabbat, but you're not guarding any part of you, then you're in violation. You're in violation. Okay. I could read the Hebrew, but I'm not. I'm just going to keep telling you what it is. This next word that he says is that you should not lift up the name of Yahweh. Your power, your powerful one, is false, because Yahweh will not acquit anyone who lifts up his name as false. I want to explain this to you. Okay. This word false is called lasha. Okay. And it's the word that was back here, right here. Where is that? Tisha, to lift up, shwa. Oh, here it is. If you, right here. Okay. This word meaning false, that means misrepresentation. Okay. If you lift up my name in a way, okay, because the lift means to raise up, okay, I'm not going to let you go. I'm not going to yanakwe. I'm not going to acquit you. I'm not going to make you innocent. This is right here. This word here means innocent. Okay. I'm not going to acquit you from the guilt that you have if you ever lift up my name wrong. What that means, you know, we heard in English, it said, if you swear by my name falsely. He's not saying if you swear by my name falsely. What he's saying is, if you misrepresent who I am, if you say something about me that's not true, and you told someone that I forgive people who commit deliberate sins, you've lifted up my name to be false. What is Yahweh's name? What does name mean? Somebody tell me what name means.
I am that I am.
Yeah, but what is the word name? Is shame in Hebrew, but what does shame mean? What did you remember what it means?
Character.
It's your character. So Yah says, if you call and you say something false about my character, okay, I'm not going to call it acquit here is yanakwe, means you're not going to be innocent. Okay. There's no innocent. That means you got something on you. If you say that something about me that's not true, then you're lifting my character up as being false. Now, here's the danger that I want to share with you about this word. And I know as we've been studying a lot, we've been reading a lot. It's a lot of words you don't understand. It's a lot of, you might feel a little overwhelmed. I'm not here to overwhelm you. I'm here to tell you what this stuff means. And then when you go back and read it, you'll be like, okay, I get it. Yah's telling us if his name is his character, you hear me? And Yah's giving us this word. And he says that you will not lift up my name, meaning my character is being false. Okay. I won't acquit you if you do that. He's saying this. Yah's saying that if you live your life, because my name is on you, I'm giving you this word. If you are living your life in a manner that proves and say that I don't exist, I'm not going to let you go free. And what does he mean by that? If you and I if we lift up his name, his character as being false, saying that, well, I can do this sin and he's never going to hold me responsible. I could break the Sabbath and he's not going to hold me responsible. I could lie and he's not going to, it's just a sin that I did and I can ask for forgiveness. Yeah, I'm saying I'm not going to, what you've done is you lifted up my name as being false. That's the danger of being in a covenant with the Creator. That's why it's such a high responsibility. If you marry somebody that Yah told you not to marry, you lifted up his name as false, as if he doesn't exist. If you call on the name of another God and you say that the God of the New Testament is the same God he is, if you say that Theos is him and everyone has the same God and everyone's all God's children, you lifted up his name as false. You're saying that the people that believe in a false God, you've attached to him. Remember, I told you, if you marry somebody who follows someone who is of another God and you marry them and you go into their body, you've accepted their God. That's a covenant. So if you knowingly know that a person's a Christian and you marry them and you know they serve another God, you say that Yah doesn't exist because you marry someone who has a God that doesn't exist. Yah's not allowing his people to join themselves to anybody with a false God, just like a Baal Por. Same situation. Okay. If you and I eat the wrong food and didn't take the time to read the label and we're being careless just on purpose. Okay. Don't care. Found out the pork was in it, but it's not going to hurt me. You're saying he doesn't exist. That's what Yah's saying. If you lie in a business deal, you're saying that Yah doesn't exist. If you don't uphold justice and righteousness, you're saying that he doesn't exist, because those are the behaviors of those who follow false gods. So don't lift up my name to be false. And the way that we lift up his name to be false is by the way that we live our lives. That's why this in particular word right here is really scary. If I was teaching in a way that was false and I said something about Yah that wasn't true, to minimize who he is, he says, David, I'm holding you accountable. You're not going away. It's not going to happen. Okay. If you curse Yah's name knowingly, Yah says you're not going to be forgiven. You're going to die. You assault your mother and father after you've been told you're going to die. You curse your mother and father according to my word. You lift up my name as being false, like I didn't mean what I said. You're going to die. I'm going to cut you off. You understand? That's what Yah is telling us. Okay. The reason why we don't like this is simply because the God that we have been told about and the one that we've been worshiping doesn't hold you responsible for your behavior, your actions, or your conduct. You see? So this is what our ancestors broke. They broke this covenant with the Creator. Okay. And they lifted up his name to be false. And he's been holding them responsible because they've been saying that he lives. Oh, yeah, Yahweh lives. If you notice, you read in the prophets, he says Yahweh lives, but he says they say it falsely. Because if I lived and if I am living, you would do what I say. You see, if I am your father, you would do what I'm telling you. If Yahweh lives, then you would not oppress the poor and the widow and the stranger. If Yahweh does live, you would keep the Shabbat. If Yahweh does live, you would do what he asked you to do. You wear your beard. If Yahweh lives, you would honor your mother and father. If Yahweh lives, you'll be honorable in your marriage. You'll be faithful in your marriage. If Yahweh lives. So you and I have been lied to. And I asked Yahweh, well, why are you bringing this up to our attention? He says, because you guys are the children of those people. And I want to bring it to your attention so you can't say that you didn't know. You can't say that you were never warned. You can't say that. You can't say that no one ever taught you, because I'm not acquitting anybody who does that. Finally, I'm not going to go through all words that Yah spoke because I'm going to send the book to you. But Yah says that I want you to remember the day of the Shabbat, okay, which is a day of ceasing. And you need to set it apart as being special, because the day of the Shabbat is special. And what makes it really special is found in Deuteronomy 5:15. It told us, I need you to remember that you were a slave. The slavery piece is the biggest piece of the Shabbat. I need you to remember that you were a slave in the land of Mizraim. And I'm the one who brought you out with a strong hand and with an outstretched arm. Therefore, Yahweh, your power has ordered you to keep the Shabbat because of that. Why? I need you to remember the Shabbat. I need you to remember that you were a slave. Why? Because if you remember this, if you use a car this day of ceasing, you'll understand that I'm using this in particular day to talk to you. I need you to refresh yourself on this day. And the only way you can refresh yourself is by being no work. No work with your hand. I want to spend time with you so you can refresh yourself and refresh your soul. That means your body, your mind, and everything that I just told you about, your appetite. And I want to talk to you. And I want to tell you about this day. I want you to remember on this day that you were a slave. Because the day of the Shabbat is a day of ceasing, is a ceasing so you can start remembering that what I did for you. If you're working all the time, you don't have time to reflect upon what I did for your ancestors in Mizraim. If you don't remember what I did for your ancestors in Mizraim, then you will go around and you will believe that this was just a regular story, that it's another Bible story. And that's all it is. It's another Sunday school story. And it's so wonderful, but you don't understand what it means. It means that I'm going to come back and get you. The same Elohim that took you out of the land of Mizraim as a slave is the same one who's going to come and get you from the land of your captivity. But if you don't do the Shabbat and you don't cease from your work, you won't have time to remember because you're so busy with all the things of your life that you don't have time to worry about it. On the day of the Shabbat, you're supposed to be reading the Torah. You're supposed to Zakor. That's remembering. That little dot over there is an ing, remembering at the yom of the Shabbat. Within the word the Shabbat right there, I see something. Okay, I see 7. This is 7th day. It's quite a show. This is Laquadashah. You understand? It is set apart as being special. And it is a sign in chapter number 31, verse number 13 of Exodus, which we would call Shemot. You will find that I told you that it's a sign between me and you. That's what it is. It's a sign. That guess what? I don't give you signs unless I'm going to do something. I gave you circumcision so you'll know that you belong to this family. I gave you the sign of the rainbow to tell you I'm not going to kill everybody on the earth with water again. Okay. I'm going to give you the sign. I gave you the sign of the Shabbat, the 7th day that I rested and ceased from my work. I'm going to remind you that you need to cease from your work because you're connected to me. You're connected to the Creator through the Shabbat. And it has to mean something for you. Okay. That's what I need you to remember. And because you are my people and because you are special and because you are witnesses to me like everything else in the universe, I want you to know that. Finally, just a few moments, just bear with me. Sorry for the long talk. I need you to understand the Gadol. Gadol means to be great. Okay. I need you to understand how great I am, and I need you to understand how great you are. And the only way that you can understand that is through unity. I told you in Devarim 6:4 that Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. Hear Yisrael, Yahweh, our Elohim, Yahweh is one. And you are to love Yahweh, your Elohim, your power with all your heart and all your being and all your resources. That's everything. Okay. I need you to understand this idea, this greatness found in unity. Okay. It's not until you and I are unified with Yah and we become one with him that we would understand our destiny and we'd understand our purpose. To be a Akkad means to be, from a Hebraic perspective, the word has to do with the wall, okay? Everything, if you notice, is always walls, is always doors. The ket is a wall, okay? And the letter ket looks like this, ket, okay? The letter dalet represents a door. I said door, doror. It's a door, okay? And it means to be combined. And what it means is a wall door. A wall separates the inside from the outside, and only through the door can one enter or exit, uniting the inside from the outside. Forgive the typo there. Something must have happened. So what is it saying? I want to be unified with you. I want that which is hidden to be brought together. I want us to be one. I want you to understand in marriage, like the contract that I gave you, the covenant, the berith is really a marriage contract. These are rules for us to be together. You can't mention another Elohim. You can't have a picture of him. That's why I told you no images. I don't want no images with you. I asked your ancestors to get rid of their boyfriends, but they wouldn't. Asked them when they were in Egypt to get rid of their boyfriends. Are you going to get rid of your boyfriend? Huh? You're going to get rid of that picture you have of Jesus? You're going to take him off the wall? Huh? Are you going to get rid of him? Are you done whoring around with him? Huh? Are you done being intimate with him? Going to his altar and offering things to him? Are you your body? Are you done? Are you done eating his body and drinking his blood like a vampire? Huh? Are you done? Are you done calling out upon the name of his father? Or his mystical spirit that he gave you, that they claim that I gave to you? Are you done? Are you finished? So you and I can be unified. Are you done with your whoring with other gods? You know, you're in the greatest place full of idolatry. You don't even see it. You think an idol is just an image that someone crafted out. You don't understand that the place that you're in right now has created all kinds of idols for you. You don't even recognize them as idols. That's how deep it is. Okay, cartoons. It's an image that they've taken and they can put animation to it to make you think that it's alive and give it personality and give it words, and it starts speaking, and all you remember is about Bugs Bunny for years and years and years. All you could talk about. Do you remember Roadrunner? Do you remember this? Do you remember that? But when it comes to remember my Torah, you don't remember because your parents didn't teach you that. So on Shabbat, which was the day of ceasing, your family, your mother and father, if you had a father, sat you down at TV on Saturday mornings on Shabbat. And you saw all the images. And they gave you the ideas and the way that they function, the way that they live. You sat there with your bowl of cereal and you listened to their programs and you've adopted their ways. And you're still saying things that they said back 30, 40 years ago that it influenced your life on how you live and the decisions that you make in your life. They even got shows called American Idol. You guys are more interested in how good somebody can sing and those people never mention a word to you about what I said. You spend your time and energy and money and resources on people that entertain you. They never tell you not one word about what I said. You don't make no investment whatsoever. And it costs you absolutely nothing but your time and humility to come and to find out about the living Elohim. Your idols are your cars and your houses and your leaders and your people. Everything that I'm going to destroy is the mindset and the theories and the ideas and the new technologies that you think is going to save you. You're looking to men. Cursed is the man that put his trust in a man. You and I need to turn to the living Elohim. That's what this is about. That's what chapter 4, 5, 6, and 7 is about. And that's what it's going to continually be about. It's about being unified with Yah through everything and to love him. The love Yahweh Shema has the word shame in it, meaning that what? My breath of me, who I am. Listen with your what? Listen with your heart. Listen with your mind. Listen with your emotion. Listen with your appetites. Let's give Yahweh everything that we are. Let's give him the existence of what he's given us. Let's present that to him. Hallelujah. 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 Praise be to the living Elohim. Any contribution? Any remarks? You know, it's a little long, a lot of information. Okay, but what's next? Next week is going to be a cave, and a cave means because. There's a lot of things have happened because of Yaakov. A lot of things are going to happen because you and I are the because of everything. Okay, so there you go. Double ring chapter number 7, verses 12 through 11:25. YHWH will be your Haftarah, 49, verse 14 through 51, 3. And last but least, a recommended reading would be Psalms, which is Tehillim, 83 through 112. And you meditate upon that every single day. Hallelujah. Yes, Zanya, I see your hand.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much for another wonderful lesson. And it was really rich and thick, and I got so much out of it. There was just 2 things that I wanted to say that stood out when you were talking about the things to guard. And it was just really beautiful how when you were talking about the eyes and the dalet and how during the curses, the Most High gave us failing eyes, and 65. So it's like he made it so we couldn't guard his Torah anymore. In Deuteronomy 28 and 28, he said he would give us madness, blindness, and confusion of heart. He did those things. Yes. And another thing that you were speaking of, and that was the grain. And I wrote about it for the website Zion Rising. And that was how our foremothers during the Middle Passage, how they had stored grain in their braids, like rice, and they were actually the ones that brought rice to the Carolinas and things like that.
Wow.
And yeah, it wasn't here, and it was just so, I don't know, it was just so profound, and it really kind of made me cry because it was like what hope did they have in storing those grains of rice and things in their braids? I mean, at that point in time, were the curses just kind of folklore to them? Had we become so separated from our culture by then? Was it old wives' tales when the chains went on? Did they like really believe what was happening? Did they think, if I am able to plant these seeds or these grains where I'm going, and I'm able to and the Most High blesses him, maybe the things that I heard from my foremothers about the curses and things like that, maybe this will all turn out not to be true.
Wow.
And of course it wasn't, but it's just amazing how so much of our culture revolved around the grain. And yeah, and so and you had mentioned it, and so I thought I would share that.
That's
Hallelujah.
beautiful. Thank you for that contribution. I didn't know that.
Yes.
It almost bring me to tears thinking about what, what our people had to go through, and what, how devastating it had to be,
Yeah.
to deal with the reality that you have been cut off, God
Yes.
says, "Then you'll know who I am." Bringing out Davarim 28, it talks about our curses. Yah says this is going to happen, but he also throws in, as we've noticed, that I won't forget about you. So right now, Yah is opening our eyes. He's opening our ears. He's restoring us back to our culture. He's calling us to learn and to study, and our life is going to always be cycles of learning. And sometimes it can be overwhelming, and sometimes it could be intimidating, and sometimes it could be, that which we don't know, we're kind of uncomfortable with. So I just want to encourage everybody to take down my email address, kinglyprinciples@gmail.com, and I'm going to send that book to you, and I'll send the blue book to you. I'll send whatever resources I have. Unlike a lot of other teachers, they want to hide information from you so they can always be, the ones who know it and they don't share it. That's not how we're supposed to do each other. We're supposed to, if we got information, you're supposed to share it. Like Azania just shared with us information on her website that's helping bring our people together. It's like we're a resource for each other. So I want to share that resource with you. I want you to dig into it. It's helped me out greatly. He has a lot of information in there. It's going to tell you about the Hebrew alphabet. It's going to tell you about some, past tense, present tense. And of course, it doesn't give you all the answers to everything. Okay. He doesn't give you all the answers, and you shouldn't look for one place to give you all the answers. Okay. We got to look at multiple things to give us the answers that we're looking for. Okay. So that's what I'm going to send to you. And here I'm going to show you what it looks like again. All right. So can you see my screen? Let's see. Can you? Oh, I got a second to get out of here. Stop it. I want to send this over to you because it's important. All right. Here, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So there it is. It gives you every last word in Exodus 20, all breakdown. Okay. He's going to give you about the transliteration, right? Go to introduction. He's going to tell you about the pronunciation. And of course, like I said, I don't agree with the one letter with the wa versus the v. I don't agree with that. He's going to tell you about the perfect tense, the imperfect tense. Give you just a taste. That's all you're getting here is a taste of what it is, so he can give you some understanding. Then he talks a little bit about, the niphiel, hifel, and the hithiel, infinitive, imperatives, participles. He gives you all that information. Okay, brother man, come here. Absolutely. No, you come to class. Absolutely. I give resources. Don't ever feel like I can't come to class because I don't know. You guys are on lesson number 13, so I don't know. No, you got to get familiar with it. You got to jump in the water. Okay. Then he's going to give you the articles and the conjunctions and the prepositions, things that you have to know, that you're going to know. I mentioned today, haaretz. There it is right there. The land. Very simple. As soon as you learn what aretz is, then you know ha means the, and then aretz is land. Ha, the land. Wa'aretz. There it is. To the land, in the land, from the land, like the land. Just basic stuff. You know, he gives you just a very vanilla thing, and then you go in and you start reading it, and that's what it is. You see? And I just think it's a great resource for you. I think you'll learn a lot. And my intention is for us to get sharper and to dive in. Oh, it's going to start at 4:00. Is it, you guys? Is it 4? Yeah, it's at 4:00 here at Pacific Standard Time. So for you, it'll be 7:00. I try to keep it down to an hour, because I know everybody's still got stuff to do. So I'll try to keep it down to an hour. Okay. And that's pretty much it. Cheryl, did you get my email address?
Yes, I wrote it down. I sure did.
Okay, good.
And
So
can I
send me an email.
talk?
Huh?
Yeah, and can I talk
Absolutely.
with you after the session?
Absolutely.
I have some
Yeah,
questions. I've been studying and I
Sure,
ran
no
up on some
worries.
things.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. You hang on after class. Yeah, absolutely. I'll do that
Okay.
for you. No worries.
Thank you. I
Yeah, it's
won't hold
awesome.
you long. All right.
No. No worries. This is the Shabbat. I'm here to teach. I'm here to, I've taken on this responsibility. So I'm here to
Okay.
lamad, right? I'm
All
here
right.
to put that staff on me and help lead and guide and bring
Okay.
us closer to our creator. That's all. That's the job.
Yes,
So that's
yes.
what we're all in this for. So I'm really excited about all of you being present. And again, thank you for your commitment. Anybody want to add anything before we leave? If not, I'll see you guys a little bit later. And Akoti Cheryl, I'm here for
Yes.
you.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Shabbat
Okay.
shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Akoti
Shabbat
Sharon.
shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
It's beautiful. I'm so glad to be in today. It's been a
Yes.
while, and I saw
Absolutely.